It is a lovely morning here. I'm scanning the sky. I see not a cloud in it. And it's 62 degrees, supposed to get up to around 70. Finally, it's not going to last long, but it does feel like spring. If I recall from my youth, spring was not immediately summer. There was a period of time where, like, maybe you'd have March and April kind of feel like a mix of spring and winter, but mostly winter. But and then boom, end of April, early May, it's 85 degrees, and you have summer all the way through until maybe October. That's the way I remember it as a kid. I'm sorry, not as a kid. A little later, maybe teens and 20s. So like we're talking 90s, early 2000s. But now it's starting to feel like it did when I was a kid. And I was talking to my father a while ago about this, and he's like, this is how he remembers it from when he was a kid. So that tells me weather is cyclical, and it does its own thing. So there we go. Anecdotal evidence proving a point once again. Good morning, everybody. Barbara, how are you? Charles, how are you? Tori, hello there. Matt Gillespie, good morning. Reading aid. Hi, everyone. Reaching out to y'all during my planning block. All right. Very nice. Tori says the weather here in New York has been a bitch. Yeah, it hasn't been great here. I'll be honest with you. We've had cold and rain. Yesterday it was sunny, partly cloudy, but windy and 50, and it felt like it was in the maybe low 40s. I don't know. So, but whatever, sooner or later it's going to be HAB, which of course we all know means hot as balls. And I'm not going to complain. You'll never hear me complain about the heat. I may remark that it is hot, but I'll never say it in a negative way. That's what I do during the winter. There you go. Good morning, David. Ron, good morning. Bill, good morning. And the great Six Questions, Lens, good morning to you, sir. Good morning to you, Six Questions, Lens. But it is a lovely day. Lovely day. Now we've left the surly bonds of the heavily regulated speed limit through the town of Fairfield, and we can increase our speed. Soon to be 45, right here, 45. There we go. Thank you, Matt, for the cup of coffee. All right, so I don't have a time for a full drive. So the question to you is, shall I go first day or down Confederate Avenue? Which would you like to see? We can only see one. First one to get 3 votes wins. First day or Confederate Avenue? Valerie, good morning to you. Oh, by the way, everybody, we're about to launch membership on YouTube. I know I talked about it a while ago, and I procrastinated in launching it, and then YouTube erased all my tiers, so I had to redo them again yesterday, and they're under review. You're gonna see a lot of people have memberships. Some people, they don't do this as a living, so it's like $2.99 to be a member, and that's great. Good for them. I'm glad they found a way to make it in the real world, and they can treat this as a hobby. Good for them. I wish I had been so fortunate. Um, this, of course, is our job, but we're looking. The reason why we're launching membership on YouTube is because we're looking to shore up existing revenue streams and add new ones to help with the expansion of addressing Gettysburg into addressing history. And addressing history is it's not going to leave Gettysburg. I mean, well, it is going to leave Gettysburg, but we're not doing Gettysburg stuff for addressing history. We will, but the purpose of addressing addressing history is, sorry, I'm distracted here. I'm trying to do two things at once. Hold on a second. Try to find the right temperature that I want for my automobile. Okay, so addressing history is going on the road a lot, and not only is it going on the road, but it is, well, it involves more than me, and so we have to generate more revenue for the sake of the others, and also the cost of going on the road. And so the YouTube membership is going to, the tier costs reflect that, but also we're looking to do a lot of addressing history's content and even addressing Gettysburg content, because we've got some video series that we're going to start this year around Gettysburg, and while there's no travel there is people's time that I have to account for. And so we decided, well, let's do this and see if it works. And maybe we can offset it that way. Now, we still have Digital History Pioneers. That's for the projects that require a big budget, not a pocket change budget. Like, for example, local videos. Those are pocket change budgets. That's somebody's time, somebody's gas money. Maybe I buy lunch or something for them, things like that. But then there are other ideas that we'll fund through DHP, where we'll need like someone to donate, 10 grand here, 20 grand there, something like that. That's a different story. But anyway, so yes, we're going to launch that. And some might say, well, what's the difference if I'm already a patron, blah, blah, blah. Two different things. Patreon, that's addressing Gettysburg, whereas the membership on YouTube is kind of addressing Gettysburg and then some. I think as far as Patreon goes, we've hit our ceiling, and I don't think it's going to improve as far as new members go. And as that dwindles, I've got to make up the difference elsewhere. And so there's a larger potential audience already on YouTube. Nobody goes to Patreon unless they're going there with purpose. You know what I mean? Like, you go to YouTube to watch stuff to pass the time. You're already there. So we'll be launching that soon. We're just going to go over it with a fine-tooth comb one more time before launching it there. But so that's coming up. That's coming up, and we'll see how that goes. I doubt it'll do anything. YouTube is a tricky beast. YouTube is a tricky beast. Rock and roll. Thank you very much for the coffee. Lieutenant Dan, I should say. Wundermunke, good morning. First day, Confederate, first day, Confederate. East Cav, first day. All right, first day is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so first day wins. Valerie says, I enjoyed your appearance in the History with Waffles video. Yeah, thank you. I watched it. I did a really good job with that video. And I don't know, but I was looking in the, how it has automatic chapters, and I had 3 chapters, and I think I took up most of the time in there. But he texted me and he said that people told him they were crying from my part, and that's a common reaction to have to listen to me. for 15 minutes, people just start crying and you make it stop, but they don't realize they could just fast forward or turn it off. But you know, maybe someday I'll get people to cry in a good way, because I've touched their hearts, not because I'm so irritating. Um, that's what I'm working towards. That's my goal. Barbara says, how much is gas up there now? Well, Barbara, I see where you're going with this. You're going to start to contribute because these drives cost way more than they used to because of gas prices. We're around 440. We're somewhere up around there. I don't remember what are you going to do, right? I can't change it, so I just pay whatever it is, and then have one less meal, or maybe Major doesn't get the much needed veterinary care that she's due, and that's okay, Barbara, as long as you get to listen for free. And so yes, but no, all joking aside, gas is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I wonder, Barbara, when I tease you about being a freeloader and stuff, the people that aren't from New Jersey, like that's a very New Jersey type of humor, right? I think at least, Philly, Jersey, New York, ball busting. I think we like to call that, right? We like to bust balls back in that I call it Hell's Corridor, Philly to New York City. And but I wonder for people who are from more polite states, like the other 49, or well, let's say no, that would have been more like 47. Okay. I wonder what they think. Like they're like, oh man, this guy's mean, but they don't understand ball busting. I wonder. There's the great Eric Lindblade. Eric Lindblade also having lost weight. Wow, good for him. Good for him. You know, you know. Paul says, morning, everyone. Yes, the waffles video is very well done. Yes, he does a great job. The increased YouTube videos and shorts have been great lately. Thanks, Jeff. That, I have to tell you, is because of the great Stephen Taft joining our ranks. He brings some experience and knowledge of YouTube and social media, and you're going to see improvements in both of those throughout the year. He's also a videographer. So all my whining, all my bitching has finally paid off, and we're going to start producing stuff that I've wanted to do for a long time. But you got to understand, when I came into this, the last thing I wanted to touch was a video camera because I had come off of shooting wedding videos for 5 years, something like that. And I was just so burned out from it. Like I just was like, I don't want anything to do with this unless I find someone to do it with me. And so here we are, finally, 8 years later, found someone to do it with me. And Tad, thanks to a lovely, generous donation to DHP, Tad is also with us on salary. And the kid makes more than I do, ladies and gentlemen. The kid makes more than I do. He makes $750,000 a year. Isn't that amazing? I should have thought that through. I should have at least split that in half and taken some for myself, but I didn't. And so now Tad makes almost $1 million. 24 years old, just bought his first house. Babber says, yesterday down here, two were at 439, one was at 429. They were the ones I saw. Yeah, Jersey's always a little bit cheaper than here. I think we might have an extra tax or something. I'm not sure what it is. Or maybe it's because we're further from the ports. Could that be? Because I noticed the further west you go, the more expensive it is. So that makes sense that it costs more to get out there. I don't know. How does that work? Someone knows. Glenn says hi. Hello, Glenn. Matt said I paid $3.80 per gallon just yesterday. Oh, you're in bad times when $3.80 a gallon sounds great. Barbara says I don't care because I did contribute once and also bought those pillows. What pillows? What do you? Oh, the hardtack pillows. Oh yeah, forgot about those. I think we still have those on the shop. Tad says Matt complains I'm not on time. Me shows up on time. Matt driving. Well, Tad, for 3 months I said 10 o'clock, and you show up at 10:30, and I go tomorrow 10 o'clock, and you show up at 10:45, and so finally I was like, fine, let's show up at 10:30. Hey, the last place I want to be is stuck in an office behind a computer. So you got to let me know that you finally decided to be an adult and show up on time, and then I will show up on time to meet you there. We gotta get a second office with our own key, so you can have a key and go in there on your own time. Same with Steven. I need to do that. We'll make that like the editing video office, and then the one we're in now is the radio office. I've never been to Wawa though. I've heard of it. Wawa's great. I think it's a little better than Sheetz, to be honest with you. Food's a little better. Around here, if you're late, you have to bring in breakfast. Well, Wonder Monkey, I would love to bring Tad breakfast, and I often offer to, but he doesn't. He'll sometimes get his own. But the only place that I offer to get breakfast from is closed on Mondays. Dogface says, I did my first Buc-ee's on my trip to Camp Toccoa. That was an experience. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to a Buc-ee's. Oh, maybe we're going to South Carolina. Is there one on the way? There must be, right? I think there's one down in the Shenandoah Valley, and I think we're going that way to avoid 95 or something. I don't know. Eric says, our friendship has just come to an end. Sheets is better than Wawa. I don't know. I would have agreed with you 20 years ago, but then Wawa stepped up its game, and Sheets seemed to kind of, how I could tell? It's the cheesesteak. The Sheets cheesesteak used to be second to none. I mean, it's nothing like, a real cheesesteak, but like as gas station cheesesteaks go, Sheets was the one. Something happened on the way to heaven, and I don't know what it was, but it's just not what it used to be. And Wawa, like the other day we were at a Wawa in Petersburg, and there was like a brisket sandwich. They're stepping up their game with like better meats and stuff, and I don't know. I don't know. Well, we're soon going to be able to judge on a regular basis because I believe a Wawa is coming to town. By the way, let me just say this in the interest of encouraging tourism. If you have been waiting for the right time to visit Gettysburg, or if you haven't been in a long time and your memories of it are this, nice, quiet, bucolic little town with beautiful scenery, I urge you to come and visit it before it's all gone, because they are developing, much like in Northern Virginia around Manassas. They can't wait to get their hands on every piece of ground up to the border of the national park. And it is a shame, after all the work that has been done to remove modern intrusions that are built on the park, like motels and gift shops and Stuckies and all these things, um, that now, instead of being on the park, it is just surrounding the park and the town. And the town has lost its soul. Borough Council, I don't believe there's one Gettysburg native on the Borough Council. So how could it possibly be taken care of in the way that we all know and love and hope that it would be? Those days are gone. The natives are either old and retiring or dead. The ones who had any kind of civic virtue and sense of duty and pride in their town, as far as I know, and I don't pay close attention, so I could be speaking totally out of school here, but when has that stopped me before? If not all, the majority of people on borough council are not native to the place, and so they're trying to turn it into a booming metropolis. And this great little place that we all talk about, is its days are numbered. So I would get here and see it while you can, and bring photographic uh, instruments so that you can preserve it there and look at it when it's all gone. And that's just my 2 cents. Also, well, I'll tell you when it happens. All right, Tad. We're gonna get over to you right now, okay? I'm not gonna take them on Culp's Hill. Matt Gillespie says if you take Cindy to Bucky's, you'll have trouble getting her to leave. She might have trouble getting me to leave. I mean, it seems like the greatest place on earth. I forget why, but I remember going, I can't believe this place. You know, it's like a Love's rest stop on steroids. Tad is an alien, doesn't eat human food. That's true, Tori. That's true. Tad says, I didn't get breakfast today, so it could be on time. Oh, well, that's very nice of you. Would you like breakfast, Tad? I'll stop and get you your crispy bacon. No, you know what, Tad? I'm gonna come in and get you, and we'll go get breakfast, because there's a couple things I want to do today, and one of them requires us to leave the studio, and the other one is in the studio. Neither one of them are editing, unless you feel we shouldn't ruin any momentum that you feel you have. I have no momentum anymore, so I'll feed off of yours. So if you've got momentum to do something, that's fine. But I got something I want to do, since it's nice out. Chris says Tad is a great human. He absolutely is a great human. And I got to tell you something. He is. I'm going to, Chris. I don't know if you're his age or not, but if you are, or even if you're not, if you're around Tad's age, if you're a Gen Zer, uh, I'll have you know that Tad has changed my opinion oh so very slightly on your generation. While he does exhibit some of the narcissistic traits that the rest of you do, he is still quite a humble young man. And he is a polite and respectful young man. He said something very nice while we were driving home. I'll leave that between us unless he wants to share it. But he said something very nice while we were driving home from Petersburg last week, and also, may I say, very mature of him to say. So he is a great human, uh, and I don't know when we started saying that. Like, he's a person. Human is like the clinical term. He's a person. Human is the organism, right? A person is the organism with a personality and a mind and a heart and feelings, and you know he's a good person. But I get your drift. All right, I'm going to pull in here. We'll invite Tad into the automobile. Come on in, Tad, you good person. Come on, you good human. I said, come on, you good human. Let's go. I know.
I watched you almost get into an accident live on stream.
When did I almost get into an accident? He wishes I almost got into an accident. There's a $500,000 life insurance policy that goes to him with instructions to take over the business. All right, Tad, hop in. We're gonna go get breakfast, and we're gonna.
I was just trying to guilt trip you, by the way.
Why? Oh, I know you.
I did though. I did make. You're right. I made a conscious effort to be an adult today, and I was.
Well, that's good. Just give me warning on Sunday night, and I'll.
I didn't know I was gonna. You know that thing where like you wake up and you can't go back to sleep.
Yeah.
It just so happened that it aligned. I was like, oh,
yeah. Yeah, you do that right, and then you.
Instead of it being 10:45 and the show for 11:30 like normal.
That's right. That's right. Gotta tell you, since so we got how the borough of Gettysburg. I don't know if you know this, but they have a new garbage company now.
Yeah.
So we do too out by us, and we were taking the garbage out this morning at like 7:05, and as we came back in, we heard the garbage truck come around the corner and pick up our garbage. And normally, like when I'm leaving at 8:30 or 9, the garbage truck is picking shit up. So this new company is really Johnny on the spot. We're gonna have to take the garbage out Sunday night.
See, Matt, everything
this is good.
You gotta step
this is good.
You were saying I said something nice to you on the way back from Virginia.
Yes.
I don't remember what that was.
Yes, I know.
I don't remember. You're saying like Dad can share that if he wants to. I'm like,
you said the vast majority of the Gettysburg community either doesn't know who you are or hates your guts, but I don't understand why, because you're actually a very generous, kind, and nurturing person. And I said, well, Tad, it's because I present myself as an abrasive prick. And I said, but that's a character, you see. And I said, if people knew how wonderful and nice I really was, they would think it was an act. So I have to put on an act of being an asshole, which they'll readily believe.
You know what's so crazy?
That's true.
No, that I went through a self-discovery thing last night, and I realized the exact same thing about myself.
Yes. Now, that wasn't the actual conversation.
That wasn't the actual
but
conversation, but it is funny that you just said that.
Yeah, but that is a conversation you should have had with me. But no, what you said was that you recognize the opportunity working with Address in Gettysburg, and you are grateful for it, even though you act ungrateful for it 90% of the time.
That's a character.
See, that's our out. We say everything is a character.
Everything's a character.
Yeah.
You turn the goddamn
Oh, just nobody has a lead foot in this town.
No. Well, because Amblebrook was built.
Oh, that's right. Amblebrook's here, and all the retirees from Jersey came out. I hear already that the homes built in Amblebrook, only a couple years old, are falling apart already.
Well, it was built during the pandemic, so
it's a lot of cheap material. Cheap material. That's a shame.
Grant says, I'm glad Matt can relate so well to someone 40 years younger.
It's 38 years younger, and well, in many ways, Grant, like you, I suffer from stunted growth. ADD. They say that ADD people don't mature at the same rate because we can't pay attention to growing up, which is great because you always feel young. People believe this or not, I'd still get people thinking I'm younger than I am, which is weird because when I was younger, people thought I was older than I was. And I think it's because, in fact, who told me this? And he didn't mean it. Oh, it was my friend. I think it was John Eric out at the Captain Espy post in Carnegie. I think he was the one who said, he goes, I keep forgetting you're drastically older than me because you have such a not boyish charm. It was like a boy-like wonder, or like some childlike wonder or something like that. No, it's not. It's, oh my God, I never grew up.
But that's nice. And
Well,
coming from him, that's a compliment. If it was
is that a compliment from him?
If it was from the former mayor, it would not be a compliment. So,
By the way, I hear that situation's about to get worse.
I'm like, how? It's already bad.
I don't want to say because I don't want to tip off who my source is.
All will be revealed soon enough.
Soon enough, but it's apparently bigger than one man. Yeah. So.
He's in the finals, isn't he?
Huh?
He's in the finals, isn't he?
Oh no, not the files. No, I thought you said the finals. I was like, the final four. What are you talking about? No, it's more other perpetrators.
I see.
Yeah, a ring, if you will.
Oh dear.
But again, this I don't know. I know, and I trust the source because the source's source is one who would know
Source.
the details.
What is it? The brother of my sister.
The brother of my sister is my brother.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yes.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when we put the two of us together.
Mm-hmm. Stupid conversations.
We'll take something kind of serious, and then it just evolves
into idiocy. Rock and rolls. All Stars. I'm optimistic on the development. The recent acquisitions of the old museum near Culp's Hill and the old country park, promising additions to the park. Yes, they are. They are. I'm talking more about the town and everything that used to be a beautiful view shed and farmland up to the boundary of the park. Now, some of those properties are protected from development for forever, allegedly, but money talks, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Calvin says, "Good morning, listening from the tractor. While working ground, it's a great day." It is a great day. Beautiful day. Have a good day at work and be careful. Do you know who Chris Burgess Boston is?
Me?
Yes.
I do not.
Well, that person says you're a good human.
Oh, well, I saw that.
Yes. It says that horrendous mayor thing is going to be a bigger story. See? Chris knows. It is a bigger story. And from what I'm hearing, it'll be perhaps disruptive.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. William Seahorn.
What about it?
We'll see.
Oh.
Even though we'll see is actually we'll see, we will see. But we're taking liberties. I knew somebody once who, when a conversation called for her to say we'll see, she would say we're see. Like we're see. Wait, how would she say it? We're see. We're see. We're see. WE''RE. And I finally said, "Are you saying we're see?" And she goes, "Yeah, like we will see." And I go, "But why are you saying we're see?" She's like, "What?" And then she never noticed because where she was from, everybody spoke that way. And so nobody ever called her on it until she moved away. No. Maybe near Clarion. I don't know, like further out in PA, like in the middle of PA. I don't know exactly where Clarion is. I just know it's this mystical island in the middle of.
Where Bethany sprung from.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it exists.
I don't know.
It's like Narnia. You gotta go.
Yeah, it's right, exactly. Yeah, or like you have to open a door in a giant oak tree or something. You walk into this other world.
Yeah.
Chris, oh, okay, I read that. I think I might have lost service. You still got us?
I still got it.
Okay.
And then nobody wants to talk to you.
That's what it is. Everybody's done.
I know Jeff left for work, so
Yeah, well, you know, it is morning.
it is more.
People have to work.
It is Monday.
Monday morning, you sure look fine. Friday, I got traveling on my mind. You know who that is, Tad? That is a dead-on impression of Lindsey Buckingham from Fleetwood Mac. It's not a dead-on impression. What is what?
No, I'm kidding. I know.
I mean, I was about to make you walk. Jesus.
No, I love them. They're
Great. Their Rumors album is still like a big seller as far as downloads go.
oh yeah,
Nobody buys albums
even
anymore.
amongst my generation. I got a
Yeah.
lot of friends who really love that.
No, it is a timeless album. When I was young, that was like we all had to get Rumors, and their self-titled album Fleetwood Mac, which came out before Rumors, that has Rhiannon on it, and it's also a great one.
Yeah.
Those two albums are great, but
I like The Chain.
The Chain's great. Monday Morning's a good song. Secondhand News, that's a good one. See, now I gotta listen to this freaking album.
Well, I guess I know what we're doing today. You know what, Matt? We're not doing work today.
Nope,
we're
just
doing
gonna
Fleetwood
listen to
Mac.
albums.
Yep.
That's it. Classic albums
Well, we gotta
on
do that anyway.
AG. We do. We keep it on in the background. Little Mozart, you know.
The Planets.
The Planets, Holst. All right, let's see. Anything else anybody got to say here? Let's see. I would never mock such a beautiful town as Clarion. Oh, sure. We don't say Wearsea here in PA. Yeah, okay. Well, it wasn't Western PA. I said it's more west in PA, not more Western PA. So west of here is what I'm saying.
West of Philly.
How far are we from? See, I don't know where anything is. I think she said she grew up in Altoona.
Not the street having a seizure.
What do you mean?
It's moving up and down.
That's weird. Well, we're idling. Anyway, yeah, I think it was out that way. What happened to your singing, Matt? When I first encountered AG, you used to sound so good as a singer.
Grant, I don't know if that's true.
Grant, you know, years and years of cocaine abuse since those early days, and wild partying,
Really,
going to raves.
Really committed to the Howard Stern of it all.
No, he's a teetotaler. No, you know, Tad, or not Tad, Grant, I'm getting old, you know, and I never was a good singer to begin with. Anyway.
Wonder Monkey Royal Farms.
Right. What is...
Yes.
Gettysburg Baking Company. No, that's the place I was referring to. They're closed on Monday. Otherwise, I would bring Tad some food there. Tad likes to get, what do you get? Crispy bacon from here, right?
Crispy bacon.
I think I'm going to try that this morning.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the employee who likes to give me the crispy bacon is there and not the guy who made fun of me.
Right, and now we're going to have to explain to him. All right, you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Adios.
See you later.